guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? Um, I think I will do my hair. I apologize that the last three times I've gone live in the morning in Studio 666, it's been cut off. The first two times by the heat because I was sweating and literally sweating all over my guitar and starting to get myself all sweated up. And then the third time this morning was my wife had chosen to go to bed for part of the day, and the studio is right next to her bedroom, so she knocked really hard. I thought it was the neighbor. I was actually relieved it was only her, but whatever. No playing while I'm sleeping, and think what you want, but I honored that. Um, so now I just figured I haven't really gotten to talk to you guys, and really haven't gone to do much live, and as far as talking and holding a guitar with you guys. And I'm sorry, so something told me just do it tonight. What the heck, you know? Who cares whether I'm in Studio 666 or in the Hippie room, and who cares if it's, 10 in the morning or 12 at night? I mean, I just thought, well, let's just go live. And I'm in a teaching mood tonight, I think I've learned a lot about music and guitar. Other haters may disagree, but then again, they're not me. That's a rhyme. LOL. So I'm just going to play a little bit, also teach some. I think it's like slight lesson time, not big time lesson time, like, gotta change the world lesson time, but I just thought I'd go live with you guys. I'm sorry if that's stupid, but I just thought I would. So anyway, and I talk when I'm live. I don't just play guitar, and all the talking isn't on one thing. So with this amp. So anyway, yeah, without even trying to. Now what did I do? Unplug something? Without even trying to, I'm really getting into Joe Satriani. I know that there are other players that kind of shredded faster than him and ranked higher on my shred list. And that's important to me, because I like that kind of thing, But as far as grabbing me and, making a song that just rocks and then shredding, I mean, I don't know, maybe he's my favorite. I don't know, it's really strange because he's always the one I leave out. I'm always talking about Yngwie, Vi, Johnson, Jason Becker. I mean, I never say Joe Satriani, and yet he's the guy I'm starting to get into. And he was cool too. And it kind of reminds me of a similar transition I went to from Alan Holdsworth to Randy Rhoads, because I think I'm going from Randy Rhoads to Joe Satriani. At least when the rubber meets the road and I'm actually playing. I can talk about Vi and Malmsteen and all these guys, but I don't really play them, do I? I don't really do them on guitar. I just talk about them being great shredders, and I play. But with Joe, I do his stuff, and I play Joe. And that makes him an influence, not just a hero. So there's a difference, I think. But when I first had just changed my from Alan Holdsworth to Randy Rhoads, I saw my great guitar teacher Tom Franks one last time. Maybe one of the last times I ever saw him in 1989, actually, probably, or maybe it was 88, 87, 88, 89, I don't know, whatever, around that time. And I go, hey Tom, so guess what my new influence is? And he had known that my list, because he taught me, my list was, first I was into Rush, then I did Jimi Hendrix, then I did Ritchie Blackmore, then I did Eddie Van Halen, and then I did Alan Holdsworth. That's what he knew. I go, guess who my new guy is? And he guessed everybody, almost that is anybody in rock and guitar, and he did not guess Randy Rhoads. And finally I said, no, Randy Rhoads. And he goes, oh, so you took a step back, eh? And I said, no, Randy is not backward. He said, oh, okay, I meant sideways, LOL. He didn't say LOL, but he said, oh, I meant sideways. And that was, I changed to Randy. And now that I symbolically and literally did Goodbye to Romance, I think I'm ready to move on to my next stage, and I think it might be Joe Satriani. I'm not pushing anything, it's just how it feels to me, I mean, I've done Eddie, I've done Randy, I've done Jimi Hendrix, I've even done Alan Holdsworth, gosh, what do you want me to do? And there's great shredders, but they don't I mean, they are great shredders, but they don't really make me think that's the song I want to play. Joe does that, and yet he also shreds, so I think he's cool. So rather than I want to jam and play and all that good stuff too, But I want to give you guys some lesson tonight. I don't feel like it's just show off time sometimes. And I like that, and I do want to do that. But tonight I kind of want to show also teach some stuff. So let me get my teaching cap on because I don't plan these things. All right. Well, I got a small brain because that only took me like a second and a half to scour my brain for ideas. Well, I just made a breakthrough on music theory. And theory and technique are connected. And even theory, technique, and emotion are connected. Even theory, technique, emotion, and songwriting are connected. If you know more, you have more colors on your palette, as a matter would say. You have more to choose from. Even if nothing else, you know what you're doing. That can't hurt you. It can only help you, and chances are it's going to help you. So there's that. I figured out that if we're talking diatonic scales, because that's a lot of music, I must admit. There's two main scales. There's the major scale and the harmonic minor scale. That's not obvious. That took me lots of thought. So the major scale, let's say I'm in E. Major scale. I did a little goof there. And that can be in all 12 keys, of course. And don't just know that intellectually. Visualize the circle of fifths or the chromatic scale, each of which have 12 notes in them. And picture that major scale in all 12 keys. It's a lot to get your head around, so that when you go to play, you can actually visualize all 12 major scales. It's really harder than it sounds. It's easy to know something. There's a Chinese saying, we know more than we understand. So try to understand it, not just know it. The next scale is harmonic minor. Let's do that in E. All right, that's an A. It's an A natural. That is an E. Well, it would be an E natural minor scale with a raised seventh, but make sure that an E harmonic minor scale. And know all 12 of those. Don't just know that they exist, but visualize it. No, get a sense of it. There's 12 of those in each of the 12 keys. And then that's the pretty much regular part of my music breakthrough. That much wasn't a surprise, but I do know that, and that was a big part of my music theory breakthrough. The next part was the clincher, though. I realized that if you start with those two scales, major scale, harmonic minor, the only other two possible permutations of 7-note scales result from changing the sixth note in each of those scales. And that was like a light bulb, like a firecracker went off in my head. So if you take a major scale and flat the sixth, you get a harmonic major scale. That's all you had to do. Just take the major scale, flat the sixth, harmonic major. Okay, then the other one is you take a harmonic minor scale and raise the sixth, you have a melodic minor scale. That's the other one. So you go. That's it. So major scale is major scale. Major scale with the flatted sixth is a harmonic major scale. Then a harmonic minor scale is harmonic minor scale. Now harmonic minor scale raised to sixth is melodic minor scale. And in both those two cases, the major scale is predominant over the harmonic major scale because flatting the sixth doesn't sound as good, but you can do that. And harmonic minor scale is a predominant minor scale, but because raising the sixth to major sixth makes a melodic minor, so it just doesn't sound as good and isn't as cool, isn't as pretty, whatever. But they both exist. So you have dun major scale, harmonic minor scale, then underneath harmonic major scale, melodic minor scale, and that's all the four possibilities. And that's all. And then I'll just do that in all 12 keys, and that's all there is to 7-note scale theory. I mean, there's modes, but you know that. You know the names of them, but the names don't help you play them or help you hear them. They're just names. They could have been called yogurt, Greek, water tub. You never know. It could have been anything, but we just call them by Greek provinces, which we even misnamed all of them, but except Aeolian. All the other 6 are misnamed, but whatever. They did exist as provinces, and there's a reason and rhyme for how they were misnamed, but who knows why, who did it, or for what reason, accidental or not, and it just stuck, and there's that. But, and then there's the pentatonic stuff, and for that, you take the major pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, the blues scale, which is a minor pentatonic with a flat 5 added to all those in 12 keys. I call the country scale a mode of the blues scale that you can call a major blues scale, which I call the country scale, but you can call it a major blues scale, but you didn't call the blues scale a minor blues scale, so it's kind of funny. You called it a blues scale, so why not call what I call is a major harmonic, a major pentatonic scale with an added flat third as a country scale, which is a mode of the blues scale. It's like you could call it the major mode of the blues scale, but you didn't call the blues scale minor, so I call it the country scale and the blues scale. Then and of course the minor pentatonic, which is and the major pentatonic, and that's all pentatonicness, and then there's that in all 12 keys, and then you've got all the music theory. I mean, that's tonal scales, and then there's the whole tone scale, the diminished scale, the augmented scale, chromatic scale, Bashan modes, exotic scales, and all kinds of more atonal weird stuff. But that's good to know too, and there's that. But the hardest things are the simplest things I've learned, or I'm learning. Someone said the hardest scale in music is a C major scale. It's the hardest scale. C doesn't make it any easier than any of the keys with sharps or flats. That's only rhetorical. Major scale is harder than harmonic minor in many senses because it's got more clout to it. There's no reason C is any easier than any of the others, and there's no scale harder than, there's no 8 or 9 or 10 note scale that's tonal. So basically a C major scale, if you can do that, it's like New York, you can do anything. That is that really hard scale. And people look over it like, who cares? Well, you haven't played it. You just looked at it and said, I don't like the smell, and you walked away. But play it, and maybe that's more to that than you think. Sloppy tonight, but a lot of it's it sounds like I'm just saying that. The guitar setup has a lot to do with your sound and even your technique. That's why I'm always playing with the guitar, the action and all that. A little high action there. Anyway, so that was my music theory breakthrough, and I've had any breakthrough starts out as a setback, at least to me, because you have to regroup and you don't know what you're doing for a minute, and you have all this knowledge and you just want to blow it with it. You don't even want to do it. You just want to screw up, and sometimes you do. Maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. It's just weird. See how the tone in my technique affected just by changing the action? I mean, the guitar, you are only the guitar player, you're not the guitar and the guitar player. The guitar is important too. What I'm learning with Joe Satriani songs is, first of all, I'm learning how to rock and rock while I shred and actually make a song out of it. How Joe does it. And I'm learning to have fun with shred, It's more fun to play a song than not to play a song. It's more fun to do. Joe Satriani hits me that way better than a lot of the other guys because it's fun, it engages me. And rhythmically I'm working on, I know how to keep a beat, and I know how to do triplets versus 16th notes and all that, and I've even told you guys some of the theory. But what I'm working on now is structure, how to structure a solo, make sure it's the right number of bars. Oh man, you gotta do that too? It's like when I'm playing triple Galen. Oh, that's a bad note. I had to do that right. Anyway, when I get to the solo, the hard part isn't knowing the notes and the technique, it's how many bars do I play of that. So when he goes, and then I had to learn there's a pause there. When I have to be conscious of something to be able to do it right. And then if I'm not just getting lucky, which is you can't count on and you didn't happen, didn't control it. There's a pause before the solo, and then there's a pause before the outro solo. I can't just go right into it, and I did that on my first take. I don't know why it has so many views, but this because the first one and it's innocent and naive. But then you break. Then he does C sharp, Phrygian dominant mode, and the hard. I'm not going to talk about right now. The hardest part isn't just knowing those notes and as weird of a scale as that is. It is a weird scale. Well, let's do the notes first. Okay, you can C sharp. Well, let's talk about the theory of it. Let's do Jimmy here. So the song's in G Dorian. I may have misunderstood that, mistaken it as G Mixolydian when I first talked about this, but it's G Dorian. G Dorian. And it stays that way until it goes back and forth. Then it goes to E Dorian. That's E Dorian. So I like that. If you were in G major, E Dorian would be the relative minor in a blues sense, and if you're in E Dorian in a blues sense, G would be the relative major in a blues sense. So they have the relative major minor relationship, but instead of one being major and one being minor, they're both Dorian. I think that's cool. Another time I've heard that, and I don't mean to break away from Joe for a second, but one of the time I've heard that being done is in the solo to Shy Boy by David Lee Roth with Steve Vai on guitar. Anyway. It's D Dorian, but then when he goes into the solo, it's B Dorian. The solo just jumps down to the key of B, and that's interesting because it's related major minor wise, but you didn't go from a major to a minor; you went from a Dorian to a Dorian. So that's an interesting sound there. You expect a D Dorian solo, but if you don't get that, you get B. Or whatever, I did that, screwed up that. But then it goes back to D for the last part of the solo. And then it's all D Dorian till the end. Let's see if we can do this right. Let's do the whole solo, okay? That's flawed. But anyway, but he breaks to B and then back to D. So there's that interesting minor third that really rocks, even though it might not be theoretical a certain way. But Joe does this between G and E, and certainly with the G part. I'm just goofing around. Anyway, which is interesting, but I like that. But then the solos break from that. Instead of being G Dorian, E Dorian, he goes into C sharp Phrygian dominant, then E flat Phrygian dominant, and F Phrygian dominant, and then just to cut to the end. I'm cutting to the end. It goes into a G Mixolydian. So he throws in a G mixolydian, then back to the G Dorian. So you've got 6 keys in one song. You've got G Dorian and E Dorian, 2 intro keys, the 3 solo keys of C sharp Phrygian dominant, E flat Phrygian dominant, F Phrygian dominant, and then G mixolydian, and then back to the G and the E. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 keys in that, and that's just awesome, and it all works and sounds like a good song. But let's analyze the solo before I go into the. I'll teach it. What the heck, I can do this. Let's analyze the progression from the song to the solo and why he picked C sharp Phrygian dominant and why he might have done that. Okay, that's brass tacks here. G Dorian is also F Ionian. Sorry, F major, F Ionian. I'm not sorry that I said it wrong. I'm just sorry that it's that true. F major is implied by G Dorian. So you can almost say the main song is in F major and then goes to the would be D major to compensate to be the E Dorian. But let's just stick to the G, which would be F Ionian, which is F major. Then he goes somehow to G sharp Phrygian dominant, which is the 5th mode of F sharp harmonic minor. So in real basic terms, you're going from F major to F sharp harmonic minor. Check out what I just said, it's true. But what do those things have in common? They both have an E note in them. F major has a triad of F, A, and C. F sharp minor triad has a triad of F sharp, A, and C sharp. But they both have A in there. The A is the common pitch that yanks those 2 modes keys together. And I think it's interesting. So it's an old lick. It's a Van Halen lick. He does it all the time. Not all the time, but it's even in it's a common lick. Like this. Going from I'll make it key relevant. F sharp minor, F major. They both have an A in them. But in this case, is going from the F to the F major to F sharp minor, so it'd be. I think that's the logic he was using. He just thought, why don't I jerk him to that a little bit? From F major, which is implied by G Dorian, to C sharp Phrygian dominant, which is implied by, C sharp Phrygian dominant, which is implied by F sharp harmonic minor. So that's the logic. And then from C sharp Phrygian dominant to E flat Phrygian dominant is just up a whole step. That's common. And then from E flat Phrygian dominant up to F Phrygian dominant is just up another whole step, and then up another whole step to the G, but this time make it a mixolydian, and then make it a Dorian to finish, and then Dorian, E Dorian, G Dorian, E Dorian to finish the song. That's pretty advanced and high tech for just a rocker and just a rock tune in 1987. I think that's cool. Now, as far as the execution of the solo note-wise, technical-wise, just do whatever technique you like. You can do tapping, alternate picking, even sweeping. I don't know if that would work. You could do it. Let's see if we can make the notes actually right here. Here we go. Maybe out of context here, but you could do it. I prefer note rather than arpeggio for this solo, so I usually do tapping or alternate picking. And Joe does a lot of legato, which I don't do, but very much. And just know the notes. Know that C sharp Phrygian dominant is also F sharp harmonic minor. So when you're up here on the 14th fret position, you can actually play F sharp harmonic minor, and it's the same notes. So just know that. And then the hard part for me, make sure that that's 8 bars long. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do it when I'm counting it out loud like that, but you don't get to count out when you're playing a solo, and you have to think of that in your head. I hope I did that right. Count back and see. Next is E flat Phrygian dominant, and that's also an A flat harmonic minor. So let's do that rhythmically. Let's do it counting out loud first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now without counting. Alright, hope I did that right. Now F Phrygian dominant, which is also B flat harmonic minor, with counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now without counting. I hope I did that right. I'm getting better at it. I'm a good student. I'm a quick study. When I put my mind to it, sometimes I get what I'm trying to do. So, whole solo in time. Nobody does that. I mean, I just did Joe doing that, but Joe's so cool. So yeah, I love it. I love rock and roll. I love guitar. Oh, I'm thinking of making a mistake like I just did. Just keep playing like you meant to do that, and it slides over easier. People don't really maybe think you meant to do that, but it's easier to fake like you did. So you guys keep rock and roll. Have a good rest of your night.